Hello and welcome back to Fallout 76. Today we are going to have a look at the Western Spirit. So Western Spirit is a unique lever action rifle. It comes from the event Most Wanted. You have a 50% chance to get that. The other thing you could possibly get would be Gunther's Big Iron, which is a single action revolver. The legendary effects on it are Furious, which works great with the new Onslaught system, 25% damage while aiming, and 15% faster reload. It also has a couple of special effects. Number one, it has an ammo capacity of 7 instead of 5, so two more extra rounds, which is super helpful. And it also does 25% more damage than a standard lever action rifle. Now, the effects it has cannot be changed, so you can't add a 4th star to that. It is what it is. So currently, damage out of VATS is just really far behind damage in VATS, especially when you factor in critical hits. So that 2nd star isn't something I'll be taking advantage of today. Now, as far as the Gunslinger and Gorilla perks, normally I would go for trying to get 30 stacks. I would go for the maximum, but I didn't do that this time. So we do have Gunslinger Master, which inverts Onslaught, so that way we get stacks over time, lose them on hit. It also adds 10 stacks to the total. Gunslinger Expert adds 3 stacks, extra weak spot damage. And Gorilla Master, which adds 5 stacks and increases damage to close-up enemies. So the card I left out was Gorilla Expert. So we are going to lose 3 stacks. We're going to cap out at 27, and I'm going to lose the reload speed bonus. And in its place, I added Covert Operative. I will be using this in stealth as much as possible, so sneak attacks, which means I'll be doing an additional 50% sneak attack damage, which should more than make up for the loss of the reload speed and the loss of those 3 extra stacks. And we'll also be using Mr. Sandman. It no longer requires nighttime for this to be in effect. Basically, if you're doing a sneak attack with a silenced weapon, you get that bonus damage any time of day. We'll also be doing critical hits, so I have critical savvy and better criticals. With my luck where it is, I'll be doing a crit every 3rd shot. And these are my mutations. The important one here is Eagle Eyes for that extra critical damage. And these are the food buffs. I don't use a lot on this character, but I do have Blight Soup for that extra critical damage. That is the most important one. Although Sweetwater Special Blend with Party Boy, that gives me an extra 12 perception, which really should help with the VATS accuracy. All right, let's see how this does. You can see my maximum stacks are 27 versus 30. So the weak spot damage, not a big deal. It goes from 30% to 27%, which is not a tremendous amount. We're still doing okay, though. Now, the other ones that'll be affected will be, let's see, we've got Gorilla Master, which is 5% per stack, so that's close-up damage, which isn't always a thing, right? Like, I'm not always within range of enemies to be able to do that close-up damage. And you can see the reloads are already really fast, so we're not really missing the extra reload speed. There we go. So now we are close-up, and you can see the damage is quite a bit higher. But this thing does pretty well. It's obviously behind. I mean, right now, we're in a weird spot because pistols, let's see. Yeah, those level 100 rounds are pretty tough. But we're in a weird spot right now where pistols are actually ahead of rifles just because the base damage is so much higher. And so they just get so much more benefit from things like the Furious effect because it is calculated off of base damage. And that disparity is actually why I wanted to run this as a stealth weapon rather than just run and gun. We get so much bonus damage from stealth, and because of the damage adjustment hasn't hit the rifles yet, it just doesn't really feel good as a run and gun out of stealth weapon. Especially if you're running pistols. If you're running pistols, this will feel weak if you're running it that way. And it actually works, as you can see, really well as a stealth weapon. All right, there's a Gloper. That actually might be, let's see, critical hits. Yeah, not enough to kill it. Yeah, that's, I mean, the damage is good, but it's not, to me, that should be a one-shot kill, especially with a sneak attack critical. That should be a one-shot takedown. So rifles still have some work to be done on them. But yeah, as a sneak weapon, I mean, I do like the lever action just in general. I think it's kind of a fun weapon, and the reload one at a time is a fun mechanic. Plus, it's very stable. If you want to use this as a manual aim, it has basically, in fact, I'll show you, it has basically no recoil at all. So yeah, for a manual aim weapon, this actually works pretty well. Let's see, they're all clustered together, having some sort of, they're up to something, I know that, whoops, there we go. It's kind of hard to hit them when they're all stacked on top of each other, so maybe it's a strategic move on their part. Let's see, thruster for you, and sometimes, let's see, that's a thruster, all right, we can get that. Sometimes it's a sentry bot, sometimes it's a gutsy. That's a gutsy as well. So yeah, we're not close enough for the close-up damage. So missing out on some stacks on that is actually insignificant because it just, yeah, we're not getting that damage anyway, so it doesn't really matter as far as that goes. So basically at this point, It's only the 3% less weak spot damage and, 3 less stacks for Furious. So it's capping out at, 135% instead of 150. So, yeah, we're not really sacrificing a lot by giving up those 3 stacks, and then getting that extra sneak damage is actually, 50% more sneak damage is actually pretty significant. Assuming we can stand stealth, I think my agility is 30. Yeah, that seems to be enough to keep us hidden. Yeah, and I am running Escape Artist. Now, I don't have room for Sneak, but I found that this 1-point card, Escape Artist, actually gives you more benefit in Sneak than the Sneak perk itself. Obviously, I'd like to have them both, but there just isn't room. So if you only have 1 point, Escape Artist really does seem like it's the way to go for stealth. It does actually make quite a significant difference. This character does have Covert Scout. That's the armor I'm using, so it's already stealthy, and every piece is shadowed. So I already have quite a bit. For a full health character, I'm actually pretty stealthy, which is good. That means I can actually get full benefit from those sneak cards. All right, let's see how we do against some Snallygasters. Now, as good as this weapon is now, I expect once we get the balance, when rifles get the pistol treatment, let's see, critical to the head. Yep, not enough. Not enough to take it down completely, and that's with all the bonuses, and now we're not getting the close-up damage. That one's too far away for that. But I would expect once the rifles get the pistol treatment that we've got, which I think is going to happen sooner rather than later. I think that'll be the next update. Just a guess on my part. I don't have any inside knowledge, but I would expect this weapon to really be a star. I would expect it to be really good. And even though we can't put a 4-star on it, extra 25% damage over a standard lever, and we have 2 extra rounds. I think that's actually pretty meaningful. It actually means if this is your main weapon, it's not too unreasonable. I've used it in events, and it's actually pretty reasonable for tagging because the reloads are so quick, and having 2 extra rounds, it actually works reasonably well. it's not the best option, but it's not a bad one either. So this is a spot where I definitely don't want my sneak to get broken. Once you get, let's see, that first one took no damage. I'm finding that happens a lot. Just over and over. I feel like I'm starting to say it a lot in videos too. It's just happening so frequently where enemies are just taking, let's see, no critical. Crit meter didn't seem like it was actually building there. Yeah, it's all kinds of weird stuff. The game is not performing very well lately, and I'm on a private server, so that helps a bit with lag, but still, let's see here. Yeah, my crit meter, there we go. Crit meter didn't really seem like it was doing anything. It didn't seem like it was filling. There is a little bit of that as well, where you have to, not only do you have to fight the monsters in the game, you have to fight the game itself. It is the end boss, and I'm still in caution from, I have no idea, something. Something is detecting me. Well, I have no idea what that was. What's detecting me? I never found it. I vatsed in all the directions and didn't find anything, so definitely want to stay, let's see, that was a critical that missed. That was a thing. It's like I want the close-up damage, but at the same time, I want to stay hidden. So we are going to, all right, let's reload all of the bullets, not just one at a time. There we go. And this has actually turned out to be pretty easy. That extra sneak damage makes a big difference. Yeah, this is actually one of my favorite, if I'm going to play stealth, especially as a rifleman, this is kind of one of my favorite options to use. It's just kind of a no-nonsense kind of thing. Let's see, I didn't want a torso shot. Yeah, staying hidden here that'll make a big difference in how much damage we do, and it's very difficult with the Scorch Beast. Let's see, can we hit some shots? Yeah, it doesn't seem like her health bar is always moving. It seemed like, or maybe the damage isn't high enough. We are chipping away. She just has a lot of health. But I'm trying to stay in caution here. That's the most important okay. That's the most important thing. Oh, I do have follow-through too. Usually it doesn't come into play in things, but yeah, I do have follow-through maxed out, so I should be getting more, jeez. I should be getting more damage that way. She has an idea of the direction, where I am directionally, but not exactly, which is fine with me. Let's see, it is not the ideal weapon for this fight. Let's see, dude. There we go. That was a little bit of a thing, and now I am no longer hidden. I'm no longer in caution. Now I'm in danger. So with the latest update, with the change to Furious, the Onslaught system, the Gunslinger Gorilla changes, that's made this weapon quite a bit better. And I think with future adjustments, this actually could be turned into something pretty powerful. So if you like to sneak around as a rifleman, this is definitely a weapon you might want to have a look at. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit one of the buttons, and I hope you'll join me in the next one. Thank you very much.